Hey everyone, Sierra Games Scott here. We just talked to Olga, who is the proprietor of the general store. She is also sort of the town gossip, and as time progresses within this game, we will talk to her a little bit more, and even get involved in her life a little bit. And we're just going to continue along, talking to people, exploring what town has to offer. The only thing I will mention is the game isn't quite as linear as some of the other ones, which is great. There's a lot of interesting things. It just makes it there's just means that there's no real clear-cut path as to which way we should go. Gives a lot of freedom to explore Mordavia, but also means that we need to be a little careful and make sure that we do everything we need to do on certain days, so that I can give you as complete of an LP as possible. And I'll be trying to consult some walkthroughs and things like that to make sure I don't miss anything along the way. But for the time being, I don't think we're in any danger of that. I think we can have pretty free reign to explore the town, and we're just going to continue doing that until we reach handle all that, and then we'll go see what else we have in terms of exploring. So let's continue on to the inn, and this is an interesting place. You've entered a small but nicely furnished country inn. Stairs lead up to the guest bedrooms. The floor is covered with sawdust and peanut shells. A barrel contains the few shells that manage to land in it. The innkeeper stares at you with an expression of fear and astonishment. It is several seconds before he speaks. This is Hotel Moldavia. Rooms here are 15 kopecks for room and board. Pay for 1 week in advance. Your room will be the first room at the top of the stairs. When you want food in the morning or evening, just sat down over there by the door. You pay the innkeeper for your room and board. Thank you for your payment. Yeah, so you're pretty much forced to stay here, and unless you don't go to the inn at all, I guess. And then you automatically pay. Money's not a huge issue in this game, which is good because there aren't a lot of sources, particularly if you are not inclined to fight. Nobody answers your knock. Oops. You hear the sound of silence. As you start to open the door, you realize this is the innkeeper's room. You quickly close it again before you get caught. Alright. So, I won't look and touch everything because in this video, these things are just going to go on forever. There is a ton of dialogue. So let's talk to the innkeeper. What should we ask him? Ask him about the inn. Hotel Moldavia has been my family for generations. It is the only place to be when darkness falls at night. Everything else is closed, and even we lock the doors. You must knock if you wish to come in. My name is Yuri Makarov. My wife's name is Bella. We are the owners of this inn. If you climb the stairs, your room is the first door on the right. The doors of the inn close before nightfall, so make sure you are always back before sunset. Make certain you are back in town before dusk. The gates of the town will close solidly to keep out any dangers. The Bürgermeister is the mayor of the town. You'll be wise to listen what he says, and stay out of trouble. There's not much for sale at the shop next door, but you may find something you need there. The monastery is to the north of here. It has been abandoned for many, many years, but it has a bad reputation. No one in town will go near it, and if you have any sense, neither will you. There are many ill things that roam this valley by night. Make certain that you never have to meet them. Never venture in the forest by night. Alright, so let's talk to these characters. These are the local farmers, and you don't really actually see their farms or anything. It's alluded that they live around here, but they do always come at night to hang out here. Alright, so I'm Hans. I'm a farmer of pumpkins and corn, a person of great importance in Moldavia. I'm Franz. I'm a wealthy garlic grower. And I'm Ivan, an elephant herder. Unfortunately, there are no more elephants in Moldavia, so business is a bit slow. Moldavia is a wonderful place. There are many great things to see here. Oh, sorry. Everyone here is friendly. Except the strangers. Or anyone weird and doesn't belong. Rumors? What rumors? There are no rumors here. Unless you count the rumor that the castle is owned by. Nonsense. There are no rumors to speak of in Mordavia. Town Moldavia is a quiet place, filled with friendly, joyful people. Well, I'm not sure about friendly. Tend to be very suspicious of strangers like you. Well, the town's filled with joyful people. Happy, joyful people. Well, I wouldn't call us particularly joyful. As a matter of fact, most of us are pretty glum. Very well, Mordavia is filled with people. Yeah, many people. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it many. There actually aren't very many of us around here. Oh, forget it. Alright, so that's pretty much all you can ask them. These guys are sort of comic relief. Like everybody else, they're just sort of suspicious of you when you're first here. The first door at the top of the stairs leads to your room. My wife will serve you supper in the evening. Say hello. They stare at you in astonishment. You say you are a hero. We will judge you here by your actions, rather than by your words. Magic is a very dangerous thing. We will not trust those who use it, or used by magic. Make certain you do not give us any more cause for alarm. This is a good way not to do it. No one seems particularly impressed. Alright, so that's about all you can do. I think you can get a clove of garlic, if I recall, from... You'd think that no one would notice a little missing garlic. On the other hand, they might. Maybe you can buy some at the store if you really need it. I think you can take it when nobody else is down here at night, if I recall correctly. So, let's go to our room. You unlock the door to your room and go on in. And like most places, it's pretty much the same deal. You can actually go out here at night, which is helpful for the thief, which we are. So we'll see that a little bit later on. And there's not much here. I mean, it's pretty much the same. Actually, you can take the garlic here, I believe. You take a clove of garlic in the case you meet an Italian chef somewhere. And I don't think they like to take any more. You don't need that much garlic. Besides, it lends a certain air to the room, don't you think? So it wards out the vampires, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't recall exactly when we need it, but at some point we will. And this is the same deal we had in Quest for Glory 3, and I think you have it again in Quest for Glory 5. The chest is empty. There's nothing in there, but if you carry too much weight, you can keep it there, and then or keep your items there, and then when you need it, go back in there and retrieve it. Certain things I don't think you can put in there, so I don't think you can put your money in the chest. Don't tempt the maid service, yeah. So you're not allowed to do that. And then if you touch the bed, actually I think it forces you to rest if you do that, unless it's nighttime. Oh no, okay, yeah. So in the other games, I think you could sleep however long you wanted to progress the game. The nice thing about this is you can't just plow through everything. They do kind of force you to move at the game's pace a little bit. So we can take a 10-minute nap. After some rest, you feel better. Okay, so it does advance the clock a little bit, but you can't sleep all the way to evening again. You can't sleep all the way to morning. So those crazy guys are gone. And I think we can actually check the time, too, so we'll see what time we're looking at. This is the magic thing, right? You don't have any magical abilities. And then this lets us, so we can sneak, because we're a thief. I think it still says something like you're just about as stealthy as the average goon if you do not have thieving skills or sneaking skills. And this is something new, acrobatic skills, which is something we'll see a little bit later. You can use in combat, and you can use to bypass certain obstacles. And then this lets us see what time it is. So it looks like it's sunset, I guess. We did sleep a little. I don't know why those guys departed. I thought they came here only at night, but in any event, we'll see if we can take another little bit of a journey throughout the town and see what's going on there. Oop. So this guy is an interesting character. Let's talk to him. And Mordavia, like Spielberg's, only a few screens large, not like Shapir or Tarna, which is supposed to be a larger city. Alright, ask about name. I am Nikolai. Have you seen my Anna? Rumors. Anna. Have you seen my Anna? I am looking for Anna. Have you seen Anna? Okay, so this guy's looking for somebody named Anna. We'll learn more about her in the future. I don't want to spoil it. The old man walks with a slump back. and a sad, dejected look in his eyes. He seems to be searching for something that he hasn't been able to find. And this is... let's take a look at this. Don't know anything special here. Looks like a giant stone nose. Who knows what it really means? Okay, let's get this straight. The windows for the eyes. There's a nose and mustache above the door. Then the door must be a mouth. Gulp. A set of brightly colored pull ropes hangs down in front of the door. Or maybe they're just stray mustache hairs. Now, I'm actually not going to go in here. This guy is one of the strange characters in town. And there's a lot of puzzles and things you have to do to get by there. So let's avoid that for the time being and explore town a little bit more. Oops. There doesn't. This is the bas relief of a strange creature. It looks like an octopus with only 6 tentacles. You have a creepy feeling as if it's looking right back at you. Now I have to confess something. I was walking around and actually tried to start an earlier LP, and it gives you a little more introduction to this screen. I didn't go back and restore, which I probably should have, but it gives you a little bit more of an introduction to this area. But pretty much, just to give you a rundown, this is the part of town where the large monastery is. Once again, this is not a large town, or at least you can't see most of it. They probably could have done a little bit more work with it. Maybe the only complaint I have about the game, but it's supposed to be a small village. Why there's a giant monastery right next door, not sure, but a decent choice. Anyway, you can only go in here at a certain time, not yet, and you have to do certain things to be able to get in there. If you actually go, you would get yourself killed. In fact, we can see that. Let me just save the game first. Alright, so we're at 4, and let's see what happens if you decide to go into the monastery at this point. Yeah, that guy started going, "Bad place, very bad place. Go away. You'll be very sorry." Alright, 4th door open. Let's just... and nobody ever listened to Igor. The hectopus has had the munchies ever since it got stoned. Fortunately for it, but not for you. It occasionally gets its meals delivered right to the door. So that didn't work out so well for us. Alright, so let's talk to our buddy here. And the hump on his back to his twisted body. This is either the hunchback of Notre Dame, a mad scientist lab assistant, a gravedigger, or an Elvis impersonator. Well, let's ask about his name. Igor. Just Igor. Guilding was the Adventurers Guild. No adventurers, no guild. Town Mordavia. This north part of town. This day job. Also work graveyard shift. Haha, little graveyard humor there. Igor dig graves in cemetery. Igor put dead person in grave. Igor covered dead person with dirt. Igor put headstone on grave. Plenty job security around here. Business is piling up. Haha, little graveyard humor there. Igor dig graves in cemetery. Oh, sorry, we already did that. Rumors. Igor not hear rumors. Igor not no stranger in town. Igor not no doctor make strange thing in lab. Igor not no funny man in inn not funny. Igor not know many things. Igor not hear many things. Alright. How about the monastery? Bad building. No go there. Bad, bad, bad. Alright, so not too much to talk down about. Headstone cover stares at you and goes back to work. You make a peculiar emotion of the thief sign to Igor. What? You make fun of Igor? He looks at you, then goes back to work. Okay, well. And so that is Igor. Open door. The door is locked. Listen at door. It's completely silent beyond the door. Unlock door. Unlock the door using the key the Burgermeister gave you. Okay, so we have finally made it to the Adventurers Guild. And as you can see, there are a lot of, this place is pretty run down. Not quite as nice as the one in Spielberg, but I believe this is actually... No, I suppose I'm wrong. There was an Adventurers Guild in 2, not in 3. That was a little bit different too, where we first met Uhura, or Uhura, however you pronounce her name. Pardon me. Then there's Taka. essential exercise. Building strong leg foots with the Stairmaster. One of the books is a thin pamphlet entitled Famous Castles of All Ages. Talks about climbing skills. So I wonder if you can read books. Which book do you want to read? Hero magazine. As you scan through Hero, the journal of general job adjusting, you find quite a bit of information that might be useful here. There are a series of articles about the land of Mordavia. The town originally grew up around the castle Borgov. The Borgovs were the boyars, or the local noblemen, assigned the role to guard the area from invaders. The chapter on fauna describes a number of interesting creatures. The Necrotor is a vicious carnivore with big sharp teeth. Some of the other monsters sound even more horrific. In the forest lives the Leshy, a creature known for playing practical jokes on travelers and playing riddle games, but which can also be helpful to those who it likes. You learn about the Rizolka, the spirit of a murdered unmarried woman. Such spirits are said to inhabit lakes and rivers. They try to avenge themselves by drowning any man foolish enough to approach them. You could really learn a lot by reading this magazine thoroughly instead of just browsing through it. Isn't it nice that we included a complete copy in your game box? Smiley face. Alright, yes, so this is pretty much the manual for Quest for Glory 4 if you have the game. They give you something. It pretty much just gives you all the information about the game and the background of the monsters and things like it alluded to. I don't recall there's anything that important. I think there's some copy protection in there, but besides that, the magazine's just trivia for the most part, but you probably can find a copy online if you do so want to read through the articles. Alright, what does the brochure say? The book turns out to be an advertising brochure. It says, I, Dr. Cranium, predict that someday one of my descendants will become the subject of a major computer game, The Castle of Dr. Brain from Sierra Online. Jeez, how cheesy can you get? So it's just a joke advertisement actually for a Sierra game. Read Tok Fu. This book teaches you the ancient oriental art of Tok Fu, how to overcome opponents by tagging them with unpronounceable names of martial arts forms, and confusing them with fortune cookie wisdom. You get lost somewhere between karate and kuksal. And I guess that's all you can read. Take a book. Hey, it's in the lending library. Nice try. The bookshelf won't budge. There's a secret passage around here. It's hidden in a different way. Okay, so there is a secret passage, and it's actually a secret passage that really only we can access. Our character can. And I'm not going to do it now. I'm not even sure if I'll do it in the next video. I'll probably make an entire video related to that secret. For those of you who don't know, it would be this game has a Thieves Guild, which is one of the things that you can't see if you play another character class. I'm just going to have a video dedicated specifically to finding our way in there and exploring it. And then there's some things you can do with it afterwards, but at least the initial one would probably take an entire video. So we'll hold that for another time. Examine case. The case looks totally solid, as if it was constructed around the sword. The plaque reads, "Break glass only in emergency." There's no sign at all of a crack or seam in this case. You can't find any way to open it, or even find a place to slip in your dagger. Are you kidding? You have trouble forcing a mayonnaise jar open, let alone a heavy case. You'll need to build up your strength before you can get through this one. Open case. The case is totally sealed. You can't find any way to open it. I don't think we actually can get this, because I think that's something for the fighter, but he gets a better sword. I don't know how much strength you need, but you need enough strength to be able to bust that thing open, so it's not really that important for us. The painting doesn't look like particularly valuable, and there's nothing behind it. Same deal. Alright, so this is the adventurer's log. Oh, we can open the desk drawer. Anything in there? It'd be a lot easier if the desk had a drawer. Ha. Alright. Sign the logbook. You sign your name into the adventurer's logbook with a flourish. It's almost become a habit by now. Except we didn't do it in Quest for Glory 3. So they brought that back. Read the logbook. You read in the adventurer's log about some of the exploits of past adventurers in Mordavia. Prominent among them is one called Piotr and the Dark One's cult. Is the story of Piotr and the Dark One's cult. Near the end of the book, Piotr tells how he led the armies against the Chernovi cult outside the Dark One's cave. The fighters were trained soldiers, but the cult members fought like madmen. Suddenly, the cult members changed their forms and became grotesque monsters. It made the soldiers panic and ran. The battle was nearly lost. Then Piotr heard the voice of Irana. "By all my will, I will banish you too." The voice was cut off. The cult members screamed and ran. Piotr entered the cave, and searched for some sign of life. All he could find were the grotesque remains of the cult members. The only sign of Irana was her magical staff lying on the ground. Piotr picked it up and left the cave, knowing that Arana was beyond his help. Piotr then tells how he brought the staff back to town and placed it in the town square. A garden of flowers instantly sprung up around it. Near the end of the book, Piotr tells that he was going to seek out the rituals of the Dark One and destroy them. There are no later entries. Alright, so that's probably a good place to stop for now. And I think I should probably went a little further than I would like. So we're going to cut off at this point. The only thing is Piotr is a character who's interesting to the Paladin. I'll explain that in the next video. But until then, this is Sierra Game with Scott, signing off. Thanks.